What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the New York Jets franchise here in Madden 22. As we are going to be getting underway with our very first Play the Moments episode, we're going to be covering 3 games in this episode against the Patriots, Broncos, and the Titans. But before we get into that, we do have to jump into scouting for just a second. As it is week 2, we can now set our positional focus for all of our scouts. And this is really just going to be a formality, as I pretty much covered it before. But we hired our scouts based on their positional expertise, so we are going to be having Rodney Harrison looking at safety. We're going to have Jesus Montenegro, and actually I couldn't figure out how to do this at first, so I kept backing out and then coming back in. But we have Jesus Montenegro focusing first on right tackle, and then Meg Wilson up there in the Northeast. Her focus is going to be on left guard, as we really put a focus on that line play at first, and then we have middle linebacker for Ortega. Looking quick at a couple of prospects that we had some interest in. Looking toward the back end of the first round, because I suspect that the Seahawks in this game are going to end up being a playoff team, I wanted to take a quick look at a couple of tackles and see if we had any information on them. Taking a look first at Kenyon Green, and then a few picks further down the road, we got Daniel. I believe that's pronounced Philel, and we have not learned anything about his blocking yet, so we'll keep an eye on a couple of those prospects as the season goes on. But now to get back into the games, we'll take a look quick at the Patriots team led by rookie quarterback Mac Jones. We will not be seeing Damian Harris this game. Instead, Ramondre Stevenson will be carrying the load for the backfield. And in terms of the actual passing game, the biggest concern that I have currently is stopping their tight end combo of Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and also being able to force pressure, as this team has easily one of the best offensive lines in the entire NFL. On the defensive side, they're a little bit weak in terms of the middle of the field, as they don't have the best linebackers, but they have a defensive line capable of producing pressure and one of the best cornerback tandems in the entire league, or one of the deepest secondaries overall, really, as their safeties are also very solid. So this team is going to be a very tough matchup here early in the season. Going into this week, I did finally go ahead and actually set the practice reps for all of our positions, so you can see right here. Mostly on our defensive line, we're focusing on the starters. Linebackers, same, and then cornerbacks, also the same. So pretty much all of our defenses is going to be starters. We do not have a lot of depth, so the guys we really want to focus on developing are already the ones that are in the lineup and just improve on those positions that we are already pretty strong at. And then for our actual strategy going into this week, I wanted to try and eliminate the short pass from Mac Jones' game, as with rookie quarterbacks, they're oftentimes going to try and look to go short, take easy completions, and put it in the hands of the playmakers. And I figure if we take that away and make him have to actually throw the ball down the field, then we'll be in a lot better shape. Now getting into our reps for our offense, we're obviously going to be going with starters for quarterback. I end up going with backup for running backs just because I don't envision Tevin Coleman getting a whole lot better. And our backups in terms of Ty Johnson and Michael Carter are ones that could really use development. Kind of the same with the wide receivers. I figured Elijah Moore would benefit a lot. Tight ends didn't really have a preference. They're all pretty old, pretty much what they are at this point. Offensive line, we don't have any real prospects, so we're going to go ahead and just make all the starters as well, except I think, well, center I left the same because we only have one, so there wasn't really a point in changing it. Now, in terms of our offensive strategy this week, and knowing that their defense is kind of weak up the middle comparatively to the rest of the defense, and this is overall one of the strongest defensive units, I wanted to try and focus on the run game this week. We're going to go ahead and set it to run outside, try and exploit their somewhat of a disadvantage at linebacker. And so we'll see in just a second what the results of the practice were for the week. I don't believe we end up coming away with any injuries this time around, other than we are going to be without Quincy Williams, and I feel like that's like the third time I've already said that, but he got injured again in this practice after missing all of last week. Other than that, we come away with a clean slate. We have a couple of players who end up with a progression point after that practice, one of which is Carl Lawson. So we're definitely going to continue to put points into that speed rusher. He is already pretty much capped out in terms of major development, so we're just going to continue to kind of feed what he's already good at, as I don't envision him growing much as a player by this point in his career. And then we also got a progression point for our punter. We're going to go ahead and put that into power, and we actually end up getting 2 to accuracy instead. So still an upgrade overall. And then also throughout the simulating of the preseason and the first couple weeks of this season already doing training, we have a few staff points, and I'm going to go ahead and spend them in the staff modifications tree. And the main reason I want to do this is because I want to get to that after school tutoring step where you can unlock a focus player, and you can actually do it 3 different times. But in order to do that, you have to unlock both sides of the top of the tree. So we are going to get about 2/3 of the way through. We got 4 out of these 6 necessary upgrades done. And we'll need about 40 more points in order to finish that tree off and get to that upgrade. And now getting into the first game of this episode, this is the home opener for the New York Jets, and they are in an early third down situation. Zach Wilson dropping back with the line stack out of the shotgun formation. Going to look right side to Trevon Wesco, and he cannot hold on as he is taken down by Stephon Gilmore. And that is going to be an early punt for the New York Jets offense. And now continuing through, the Jets offense ends up back in the red zone here really quick from the 19-yard line here on 3rd down and 2. Going to be a run to Tevin Coleman, and he is going to pick up just enough for a first down. And so this drive will continue now inside the red zone from the 15-yard line. Michael Carter coming into the game here on 3rd down. Elijah Moore in the slot. Wilson looks left side. Davis cannot hold on to that pass, so that is going to make it now 2nd down. And another drop back. Looking over the middle of the field for Carter, but it was just a little bit off into the hands of the linebacker, but he cannot hold on. Would have been a big play right there, a turnover in the red zone. And now Wilson dropping back on 3rd down, goes deep, and this one is intercepted as he tried to go for Croft, but the defense just stayed in front of him on that one. And so Devin McCourty comes away with it now, gets back to the 10-yard line, and New England's offense will take the field. Now simulating ahead a little bit, this is going to be a 3rd down and 6 for Mac Jones and the Patriots offense. Empty set as he drops back, looking, has time, looks right, and finds his man over to the right and converts for the first down. Now they are in the red zone. Single back look, drops back, looking left side, a quick strike to Hunter Henry, and he is going to get close to the first down, but is going to make a 2nd down and 2. From the 7-yard line, Mac Jones making some adjustments at the line. He's going to go ahead and drop back. Now looking left side, finds a wide open Nelson Aguilar. Found the hole in the zone very early, and he ends up coming away with a touchdown on this play. New England opens up the scoring, making it a 7-0 game here early in the 2nd quarter. We'll see if the Jets are able to respond as they have the ball, and it looks like Zach Wilson is leading another drive down the field, down to the 35 in a little bit under a minute. Faking the handoff, looking right side, finds Corey Davis, and he is going to pick up about 10 yards there on a crucial 3rd down. Now a little bit later in the drive, the next play after that, Jets find themselves down in the red zone, 2nd down and 3. Wilson dropping back, has time, looks over the middle, and finds Carter on the check down, and he is going to get them down to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal now. Carter stays on the field, receivers stacked left. And Carter gets the handoff, carries it up the middle, slips through one tackle, but he is taken down just short of the goal line. And he is staying in. It looks like he's going to be getting the carry here on 2nd down and goal, and he walks his way into the end zone. And the New York Jets have tied this game up, making it a 7-7 game after the extra point. If they make the extra point, that is, and they do, get the ball back one more time. And now we are inside of the 2-minute warning, 1:54 left. Starting from the 34-yard line, Wilson drops back, everyone running out, and tries to go to the right, but the pass is just a little bit too short, and New England's defense ends up deflecting it. Cannot force the turnover, so the Jets will hold on to the ball now. 2nd down and 10, Wilson dropping back, looks left side, and this one cannot be corralled by Corey Davis, and so it is another 3rd down that the Jets are facing now. Dropping back one more time, Wilson looking left, finds Jamison Crowder, and he is going to hold on to that one, gets the Jets out to midfield, and they are going to be going no huddle now, try and work some clock management here. Wilson calling a couple of audibles at the line, dropping back, looks right for Crowder one more time, ends up in the hands of Davis, and he holds on to that despite the coverage, down to the 38-yard line. A quick run play here to Michael Carter. Tries to slip off to the right. Ends up getting taken down for about a 3-yard loss. And the Jets are going to call their first timeout. 1:01 left here in the first half. 2nd down and 13. Jets dropping back again. And looking right side. This one's almost picked off by Stephon Gilmore. Making it now 3rd down and 13. Got Crowder in the slot. Croft right side. Wilson with time going deep. Looks for Crowder. And he is going to draw a flag on that play, and they are going to rule defensive pass interference. And so the Jets are going to take over at the 1-yard line with a fresh set of downs. And 52 seconds left here. Looking run with Coleman at the goal line. He is going to take it to the right side and gets taken down for a 2-yard loss as he cannot punch this one in. Now on 2nd down and goal, staying in the I formation, faking the handoff, and Wilson is quickly taken down by Chase Winovich. And so the Jets have now lost about 9 yards from the goal line here, actually 11 yards, And now on 3rd down and goal, they are going to be backed up all the way to the 11-yard line. Wilson with plenty of time, but the pocket collapses before he can find anybody. He had plenty of time to make a play, but could not find a man. And so the Jets are going to settle with the 3 points going into halftime. Coming out of halftime now, the Jets have the ball once again in a 3rd down situation here early, and Elijah Moore is going to catch that one. And they say that he had enough for a 1st down. Now continuing the drive down the field, the Jets have another 3rd down. Here from the 32-yard line now, it's 3rd and 3. Coleman in the backfield. Moore in the slot. Wilson taken down quickly once again by Chase Winovich one more time, pushing him back to the 37-yard line. In questionable field goal territory, but the coach wants to go for it here with Matt Amendola. Wind toward him, and that is going to just miss. But it doesn't look like the Patriots have taken advantage yet, as they find themselves in 3rd down already from the 48-yard line. Mac Jones dropping back. Quick strike left, Hunter Henry taken down, and they're going to say that he was short of the goal line. And so New England is actually going to punt this one. And it looks like the Jets are marching down the field once again, now in the 4th quarter. Got Coleman in the backfield, 2 tight ends, looking left side to Ryan Griffin, who picks up a 1st down and what I believe is a 6-yard reception right there. And so that continues the drive. Now down inside the red zone from the 15. Wilson with a tight formation, hands off to Tevin Coleman, and big run off to the left side, almost picks up a 1st down on 1st down right there, down to the 6. Now 2nd and 1, receivers bunched left. You got Carter in the backfield running up the middle, and he almost gets in for his 2nd touchdown of the day, down to the 2-yard line. Coleman back in the game now, offset I formation, Croft and Wesco leading the way. Coleman has an open field to the right side, and he is in for the touchdown. And don't look now, but the Jets are up 17-7 on the New England Patriots with only 6 minutes left in this game. The Jets have not beaten the Patriots in a regular season game since 2010. The last 2 wins, the only 2 wins they have since then, were both in overtime, and the Patriots are currently on a 12-game winning streak against this team. With 2.5 minutes left in this game, they have narrowed the gap down to 17-14. On 2nd down and 10, however, Mac Jones airmails his receiver looking to the right side there. So it's going to be a long 3rd down here with a 3-point deficit. Again, 2.5 minutes left here. Looking right, finds Hunter Henry, but he is taken down by Bryce Hall, 5 yards short of the 1st down marker. And so the Patriots will be going for it here on 4th down and 5. They have 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. They snap it just before the 2-minute warning. Smart play to try and get the extra timeout. And it looks like it's close. We'll see when we come back if they give it to the Patriots, and they don't. They're going to say that they were short. And so the Jets will take the field now. The Patriots have all 3 of their timeouts, so the Jets need at least 1 1st down as they get 2 yards right there. 1:52 is the time in the game currently. 2 tight ends on the field for the, actually 3 tight ends on the field for the Jets on a big hit by Coleman. Good thing he held on to the ball right there. He's only going to get about 1 yard. And so the Jets now have to pass for it here on 3rd down and 8. Wilson has time, and he's going to try and go for it himself, but he slid down just a little bit too early, made the smart play, but unfortunately that is going to leave them short. Braden Mann is going to take the field for the Jets and try to punt this one out of bounds, as it is going to the right side, and it looks like he miscalculated it just a little bit. If it had been about a foot to the left, it would have been out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. Instead, the Patriots are going to get it at the 20. About a minute and a half left, no timeouts. Mac going deep on the very first play, and it looks like the receiver drew the pass interference from Bryce Hall. We'll see where they're going to spot this ball, and it looks like the Patriots are going to get it down at the 28, so a huge play gives the Patriots potential to tie this game up. We'll see if they're going to go for the lead now. Mac Jones dropping back, and he finds Nelson Aguilar for a 1st down, now inside the red zone. Patriots going a little bit of no huddle as they want to get the touchdown here. Finding Aguilar once again, or actually that is Ramondre Stevenson, excuse me. Big hit though. Luckily he holds on to the ball for the Patriots. And now Jones all day to throw in the pocket. Huge hit again right there on Ramondre Stevenson. Down to the 5-yard line now with 40 seconds. 1st and goal. Mac dropping back. Pocket collapsing. Keeps backpedaling and does not get rid of the ball. The Jets push him all the way back to the 20-yard line. The Jets have no timeouts, so you got to think they have about 1 more play right here. And Mac throws it to the right side, But Hunter Henry can't get out of bounds. Now New England's going to scramble to get back to the line, and they cannot snap the ball in time. Clock mismanagement at the end of that game by the New England Patriots, and the Jets will improve to 1-1 on the season with a big upset early on, as the Patriots are now, after losing their opener to the Dolphins and here falling to the Jets. And you got to think that stings for a team that was hoping to have a turnaround season after the disappointment of the COVID year, and a team that pretty much in all aspects outplayed the Jets today, even won the turnover battle, and they cannot walk out of here with a win. And from the Jets side of things, Zach Wilson, again, another pretty unimpressive game, ends up with 1 turnover, only 5.5 yards per attempt. The running game was decently strong. Tevin Coleman didn't have as good of a week as last week, but they were able to move the chains when it mattered the most. The Patriots definitely outplayed them in the running game, though. Jacoby Myers comes away as the game's leading receiver for both sides, but good days for Croft and Crowder and Davis on the New York side of things. Sacks, Elijah Vera Tucker allowing 2, not the greatest look. Again, Chase Winovich kind of owned the first half of this game anyway. And then on defense, you got CJ Mosley all over the field. Bryce Hall played a decently good game, I think, other than that pass interference call. And then New England dominated the pass rush up front. For the Jets, Fulo Fadakasi comes away with 1, but the Patriots have 4 as a team, including the 2 from Winovich. And then interceptions by Justin Hardy, of all people, Devin McCourty, and Marcus May. It wasn't the prettiest win, but against a rival, and especially so early in the season, you kind of take what you can get if you are the Jets. Coming away from this game, we met 2 out of our 4 goals for the game that we had set. And now we move on to a road game against the Denver Broncos. Before we do that, we'll take a quick look at the mock draft, as Evan Neal is projected to go number 1 overall to the New York Giants. And they have the Jets projected to take back-to-back corners in Andrew Booth and Kaiir Elam, which is definitely not something I am opposed to doing. And we'll see how the standings evolve as the season goes on. Taking on the Denver Broncos, who are led by the double-headed rushing attack of Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon, but have a really strong receiving core as well, as this is a very talented offense that has really just been held back by quarterback play. We'll see if Teddy Bridgewater can fix that. And then, of course, one of the most consistently good defenses in the league, with stars like Von Miller, Bradley Chubb up front, and then a very deep and talented defensive backfield as well. So again, not going to be an easy game for the New York Jets offense to probably get much going. And again, I think the key to this game is going to be try and take away the Broncos' passing game, force them into runs, though with a 2-headed punch of Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, I'm not sure that's a great idea either. But going into the game planning for the week, we're going to try and take away the short passes. I would rather have their running backs have the ball than the combo of Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, and Courtland Sutton, even though he is coming off of injury. And then on offense, what I really want to focus on is trying to neutralize their pass rush. Again, Von Miller, one of the most talented edge rushers in the entire league. And then Bradley Chubb on the other side is somebody who has had almost double-digit sack seasons in the past. So we'll look at the quick results from the training again, and we come away completely clean this time, no injuries to backup linebackers or anything like that. And now we're going to go ahead and dive into the second game of the episode, taking on the Denver Broncos on the road. And quickly, the Broncos have marched down the field. They find themselves in a 3rd down and 5. Now from the 38-yard line, Bridgewater with a quick drop, and he is going to pass that one over the middle, finding Jerry Jeudy for his first reception of the day and getting Denver down to the 30-yard line. Next play, they're going to get down inside the red zone now, starting from the 10. It's not quite a 1st and goal, but quick drop now, passing it over the middle to Tim Patrick, and he is going to fight his way into the end zone, just bodied the Jets defense right there. And the Broncos have gotten themselves into the end zone early in this one, opening up a 7-0 lead. With the ball once again now, 2 minutes left in the first quarter at the 40-yard line, facing a 3rd down and 7. Bridgewater tries to roll to the left, and he is taken down by Carl Lawson, and that will end the Broncos' drive early. The Jets catch a big defensive break right there, and we'll see how this continues to go as the Broncos have the ball once again. I feel like the Jets haven't had a single offensive play here in the entire first quarter. Now on 3rd down and 5, looking right side, finds Jeudy, slips through one tackle before getting taken down now at the 25-yard line. And not a great start for this Jets defense, although they have been pretty much on the field non-stop so far. Looks like a couple turnovers for the Jets offense. Now on 2nd down and 3, handoff goes to Melvin Gordon, who will lose a couple yards right there. Now it is 3rd down and 4. Bridgewater tries to roll right, ends up running straight into a Jet defender again, and then just turfs this ball. So again on 3rd down, the Jets defense gets off the field, and now their offense will make their way into the red zone for the first time today. Handoff on 2nd and 5 goes to Tevin Coleman. Picks up about 4, not quite enough for a 1st down, but he's going to make it a 3rd down and short. Now Michael Carter on the field out of the shotgun, and he muscles his way forward. It looks like they're going to give him the 1st down, and so this drive will continue. 10-0 deficit now, Jets trying to set up the screen for Wilson, but it is blown up by Shelby Harris as he forces his way through the line and pushes the Jets back to the 21. 2nd down and 18 now. Wilson looking for anyone. Pocket collapsing from both sides as he is leveled by Chubb and Miller on that play. And luckily he got the ball out in time, so it's going to be 3rd down and 18. Now Wilson dropping back. Pressure coming again. Tries to throw it up for Davis, and he can't quite come down with it. So the Jets are going to come away from that drive with a field goal. The Broncos now at midfield, but the Jets have them in a 3rd down situation once again. And trying to set up the screen for Melvin Gordon. The Jets are going to end up shutting that one down, despite the fact that he slipped through a tackle. On 4th down and 5, the Broncos are going to elect to punt from the 44. And this one is going to be fielded by Berrios, who really should have let it go out of bounds. He slipped through one tackle to avoid making a complete disaster, but the Jets could have had it at the 20. Now they're going to start from the 11 with only 1:27 left here in the first half. Zach Wilson, faced with a 2-minute drill once again, throws it up for Croft, and he is going to come down with this one. Had the mismatch right there. Jets going no huddle now with a minute left as the clock winds down inside 1 minute on this play. Wilson getting flushed out of the pocket, fumbles. The Jets do fall on it as Morgan Moses saves what probably would have been a Denver touchdown right there. But it is going to be 2nd down and 23 for the rookie number 2 overall pick. Has time, drops back, throws to the left. Davis gets knocked out of his hands, ends up in the hands of Keelan Cole, but he cannot corral it. And so now it is 3rd down and 23. And going for the quick completion right there, and Elijah Moore cannot hang on. The Jets are going to punt this one away, and the halftime score is 10-3. Broncos making a quick push down the field coming out of the locker room as Melvin Gordon spins a man out, and he is into the end zone. So one play of gameplay anyway on the field, and the Broncos have already opened up the scoring. It's now a 2-possession game as the Jets can't get anything going on their drive. A couple drive, or actually this is the same drive, isn't it? Tevin Coleman is going to carry this one up the middle, fights his way through some contact. They're going to rule that his elbow was down at the 1-yard line. The Jets are going to bring in Michael Carter and try and shove this one through, and he spins off a man and ends up taking it into the house for a touchdown. So the Jets cut into the deficit a little bit, scoring their first touchdown of the game. It's a 17-10 game now. The Broncos marching down the field, 3rd down and 5 from the 30-yard line. Bridgewater dropping back, rolling left, finds Melvin Gordon, but he is going to be tackled down before he can pick up a 1st down. And they actually go for it on 4th down and end up converting. So it's now 3rd down and 10 from the 22-yard line. And Bridgewater looking right once again finds Gordon one more time. And he's going to get tackled out of bounds as the Broncos tack on a field goal and give the ball back to the Jets. Jets now down inside almost the red zone. Crowder had it for a second, but ran into the other receiver and ends up not holding on to the ball. And so the Jets are going to go with a field goal, and they miss the field goal. So now it is a 27-10 game by the time they get the ball back. There's only 4 minutes left here in the 4th quarter, and they got to get something going quick as this pass, Elijah Moore in tight coverage, can't come down with it. Not the easiest catch to ask a rookie receiver to make, but he did have a chance. And that was 4th down. So the Jets end up walking out of a Mile High with a loss in a game that was probably a little closer than the final score ends up indicating. The Jets didn't really have the ball very much in the first half with the turnover and the lack of offensive luck early in the game. As you can see, they only mustered up a little bit under 250 total offensive yards. Zach Wilson not even at 50% completion percentage for the day. Seeing some of your typical rookie quarterback struggles, but at the same time, the team isn't doing a whole lot to help him in terms of the playmakers. Melvin Gordon absolutely dominates this game with almost 150 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. Davis goes for over 50 one more time. And then Morgan Moses, rough day trying to block off Von Miller and Bradley Chubb didn't end up going so great for him. John Franklin Myers all over the backfield for the Jets with 4 tackles for a loss. Von Miller finishes with 3.5 sacks in this game. Jamar Johnson, the rookie safety, comes away with the 1 pick off of Zach Wilson. And again, not a great day for the Jets, but I do think that this game was a little bit closer than the final score might indicate. If they could have just made a few more plays and had a better start to the game, then we might be telling a different story. But it's a hallmark of a bad team to come out of the gate struggling, and we are not necessarily the most talented team on the field in any game. Now, coming out of this game, we did get a press conference relating to Zach Wilson's struggles early on in the season, and like I talked about before, it's not necessarily his fault. Of course, he could be playing better and get through an entire game without turning the ball over, but you can't expect a rookie quarterback to come in and be a good starter right away. It's just not fair to them. Anyway, we're going to be taking on the Tennessee Titans, taking a quick look at their depth chart, and what would easily be one of the best fantasy football teams with Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones. Not to mention one of the most consistent offensive lines in the league from the left side to the right side, leading the way for them. But then their defense is really, I think, where they can be attacked. Their defensive line, of course, Jeffrey Simmons is pretty good, but I think other than that, there's not that many impact players in their front 7, and then their cornerbacks are not really that great either. The only players I'm really worried about on their defense are, of course, Jeffrey Simmons, like I said, and Kevin Byard. I think there's a good way to kind of attack everything else on their roster. But of course, the key to winning this game is going to be trying to stop or at least neutralize Derrick Henry, who is probably the best pure runner in the NFL right now, not to mention one of the hardest players to tackle. So our focus is going to be on defending the run, and then on offense, I want to try and get the ball down the field with the passing game. Though their defense isn't super strong, their defensive line is probably the strongest individual unit. I think if we can pick on the corners and linebackers, then we'll be in good shape in terms of moving the ball down the field. Taking a look at our practice this week, Shaq Lawson does come away with a shoulder strain. I believe he is going to miss 2 games because of that. Other than that, clean bill of health coming out of practice. And we do have a few upgrades coming out of practice this week. First, we are going to take a look at Mekhi Becton, and I really want to work on upgrading his pass protecting. I think that he is one of the best physical specimens at left tackle, but his ratings really just aren't there yet overall. And I think that the more we focus on improving this offensive line, pass blocking wise, the better of a team we will be. Zach Wilson gets an upgrade, and every upgrade that he gets, I'm basically going to be putting into accuracy. I think he's a pretty well-balanced quarterback in terms of scrambling and throwing on the run, throwing play action passes. We get an upgrade as well for Elijah Moore, and the big thing I want to work on with him before we really start to get him more reps is his receiving skills. If you take a look right here, his catching's only an 81. His catch in traffic is only an 83. His route running also needs work, but I think if we can work on his hands first and he can hold on to some of the easier passes, then we're going to be in good shape in terms of his development. So we go with the slot upgrade, and I believe we end up getting 1 catch in traffic, and then we end up getting 2 for routes. So it doesn't quite get the upgrade that I was anticipating. We also got a couple more upgrades here. Javelin Guidry, he's been playing solid so far on the season at slot corner, I think, but we want to work on upgrading his slot skills, try and get him an upgrade to both man and zone. As we've been trying to mix up some of the defensive looks, we get a +4 upgrade to man, but only 1 to zone, and I'll honestly take that. If he can do well in one, we can start to work on the other. Michael Carter's been our other outside starter this year. I want to get him, I believe, a zone upgrade, and that will push him, I think, into the low 70s with a +1 zone right here. We'll probably be taking, I guess we don't take a look. And then the last one is going to be Quinnen Williams, who we are going to try and work on the pass rushing skills of. He has pretty good run stopping already, but if we can make him a really solid 10+ sack threat coming from the inside, I think we have a true Pro Bowler, all-pro level player on our hands. Now we're going to jump in for the final gameplay of this episode against the Tennessee Titans. As early on in this game, the Jets have the ball at the 3-yard line, just trying not to take a safety right here. Tevin Coleman is going to carry up the middle coming out of the I form. His first run of the day goes for 4 yards. Now offset I, Wesco out to the right, leading the way. Carter now taking out of the backfield, slips off one and tries to dodge another, almost picks up a first down. And the Jets continuing the eye look here. 3rd down and 1. Tevin Coleman back in the game, and he is going to carry it up the middle for 4 yards. So the Jets are moving the ball down the field with a run game early on, despite a focus on passing. And this one is thrown over the middle, and the linebacker ends up coming back for it. The pass was intended for Croft, but a good play by the linebacker there to go back to the ball after leaving. I-form once again, but this time a pass out of the I-form, and Corey Davis making a nice catch off the sideline for 13 yards. So now from the 30, quick flip to Coleman, and he is blown up in the backfield. And he's going to take a loss of 5. Stays in the game here, single back for Wilson. Sends Croft in motion to the left side of the line. Faking the handoff to Coleman. Has time in the pocket, rolling right, getting chased. Throws the ball down the field, and it is caught by Corey Davis. A huge play down to the 31-yard line off of the 44-yard reception. And the Jets continue to drive the ball down the field. Wilson has time, pocket collapsing, throws left, and that one is short of his target by quite a bit, making it 3rd down and 10. Crowder slot left, Carter the back. Wilson rolls right, goes to Crowder, guides him to the open field, and now the Jets are down inside the 10-yard line, as it's going to be 1st and 10, not quite enough to grant a 1st and goal, so the Jets can convert without scoring on this drive. Wilson now looks left, Carter wide open, defense coming for him quick, and he manages to get about 4 yards out of that play. Now 3rd down and 4. Wilson moving to the right, has a lineman coming for him, gets it to Elijah Moore, and he hangs on to the ball for his first career touchdown. And the Jets score on their first drive of the game with rookie-to-rookie connection, a 1st-round pick to a 2nd-round pick. They would go on to miss the extra point, and now the Titans are working their way down the field at the 15-yard line on 3rd down and 1. Derrick Henry gets it, and what should have been a stop of just a yard, he ends up pushing a defender down and picking up 4 more, and that's exactly what you're going to deal with whenever you are going up against him. He gets the carry once again here on 1st down and 10, and this time he is taken down short of the goal line, but it very easily could have been a touchdown. He gets the carry again on 2nd down and 2, and stiff arms Folo Fatukasi straight down into the ground and pushes this one forward for a touchdown. And that's exactly what you're getting yourself into whenever you are matched up against this guy. He can straight up stiff-arm defensive lineman right back down into the turf. The Titans take a 1-point lead now as they make their extra point. And they have the ball once again, working their way down the field now. I formation, handoff goes to Henry once again, and he stumbles over his own lineman, gets back up, and ends up picking up 2 yards out of the play. Nobody could get there to force the tackle to be completed. And now 2nd down and 8, he gets the handoff once again as Cashman misses, and he's met by Ashton Davis, but cannot quite be taken down. He is taken down after help, though. From the 4-yard line now, it's 1st and goal out of the gun. Henry off the option, Tannehill keeps it, and he is taken down just short of the goal line. A great defensive play right there, realizing that the quarterback was holding on to it. Now on 2nd down and goal, empty set. Tannehill, absolutely no pressure, going right side, and he airmails that straight out of bounds. He had all day to throw that pass, but just could not find anybody open. Now on 3rd down and goal, they're coming out in the I formation, handoff to Derrick Henry, pushes off a man, but they are going to rule that he crossed the line, and this is going to be a Titans touchdown. So that makes it a 14-6 game after Tennessee makes the extra point. The Jets on offense now, 3rd down and 2 from the 43. Wilson with a clean pocket goes to Croft over the middle for a 6-yard completion, and keeps the drive alive now down inside the red zone from the 13. Tevin Coleman with the handoff out of the gun. 2nd down and 2, and he converts it into a 1st down. The Jets take their first timeout. 33 seconds left here in the first half. Wilson going for the lob to Corey Davis, and he comes down with it. The former Titans scores against his team that drafted him. And now with a 2-point conversion, the Jets could tie this game up, and they actually end up going for the extra point. Tennessee comes back and scores another touchdown, and they have the ball now once again down to the 36. It's a 3rd down and 7. Tannehill has Henry wide open, but he goes for the stiff arm instead of turning around and getting the 1st down. So not exactly sure what was happening there, a lack of offensive awareness. The Titans can go for a field goal, but they actually end up missing. And so the Titans have it now after a Jets drive stalls. They're down inside the red zone. They convert on 3rd down and 1 right there with Derrick Henry, who has easily dominated this game with 3 touchdowns so far. And now off the end around fake to Henry, A.J. Brown has the ball and almost takes it into the end zone as the Jets were almost caught off guard there on defense. But that gets them down to the 5-yard line. as Henry out of the gun gets the handoff, cuts back into the middle, and goes into the end zone once again for his 4th rushing score of the afternoon. And even with a quarter left, that would pretty much spell the end of this game, as the Jets wouldn't be able to score on the next drive. The Titans get another touchdown, and that is going to be the final score of this game. 35-13, as the Jets defense was absolutely dominated for pretty much the first time this season. Even in the Broncos game, it came down to a couple of early drives being very successful for Denver. In this game, the Titans pretty much had control of this the entire way. After that Jets opening drive score, they only scored 7 points the entire rest of the way, and Tennessee was able to score 35 with 274 yards rushing in this game. And you'll see the final box score for Derrick Henry. It was just ridiculous. He ends up coming away with 189 and 5 scores. Darrington Evans tacks on another 66 yards on the ground for the Titans, as the Jets' leading scorer has about 15. Jamison Crowder comes close to a 100-yard game. Croft had a few big plays. Elijah Moore, obviously, with the touchdown. But other than that, not really a whole lot going on offense. Good games for the linebackers in terms of getting tackles, but not a whole lot else. Again, this game was a very one-sided game, and not necessarily a surprise, as Derrick Henry is a very hard player to stop, and if he gets going, then that pretty much opens up the entire rest of this offense. With that said, though, at what would formerly be the quarterway mark of the season, the Jets have found themselves 1-3 to start things out, with a big upset over the New England Patriots, but a couple of very winnable games that have slipped through the cracks for them. Zach Wilson approaches Coach Robert Saleh about his play, and like I said earlier, he could be playing better, but our offense just really as a whole has struggled. And I think we're going into what is a pretty winnable game, as we are heading to London to take on the Atlanta Falcons, a team with a similarly rebuilding roster. We're going to take a look at the stats throughout the season so far. Like I said, Zach Wilson, not off to a great start, but definitely could be doing a lot worse. If he can make his way through an entire game without a turnover, I think we'd be in a lot better shape. Also getting some plays open more down the field. That's on our offense, though. Rushing has been really good to start the season. Not that we've had much opportunity. And the two-headed attack of Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder has been all right. Not much more, not much less. But we're not getting much production out of the rest of the roster. Keelan Cole has been pretty disappointing. We haven't gotten Elijah Moore the opportunities yet that I think he deserves. So we're going to try and open up the offense a little bit more for him. Offensive line has been meh. Obviously, a couple of players have been really good. I actually think Vera Tucker's been playing really well, as well as Becton. And McGovern's been good in the run game, a little shaky in the passing game, but he has taken on a couple of pretty good interior rushers so far. And then on defense, defensive line, as expected, is playing pretty well from the tackles for loss perspective. And then Carl Lawson's been our best pass rusher through the early part of the season, and he's made some really game-changing plays so far. And I think, like I said, that unit is really strong already. We just need to kind of solidify the rest of this defense in order to really be a threat. Matt Amendola is 3 of 5, and with another weak game facing potentially getting replaced. And we are actually going to replace the sliders so far going into the next game. I didn't like the way that these sliders felt, but I wanted to give it some time playing a few games before we made any drastic changes. And I think that this slider set, as you'll see in the next few episodes, is definitely going to balance the gameplay out a little bit more and make it feel a lot less like just playing on default all Madden. And actually, at times, this slider set that we were using before played even worse than default all Madden, I think. Along with that, we are also switching up some scheme stuff. I wanted to find schemes that better fit the roster that we have right now, so that we could help with the development of some of these players and trying to improve. That's really the focus so far, is developing the young talent that we have in-house already. So the base 4-3 scheme actually is a 100% roster fit currently, so we end up going with that. And then West Coast zone run, I think, was like a 93. Offensive playbooks, I switched this around a couple times, but for now we're going to be going with the Las Vegas playbook. But I end up switching it back out after a couple games, because I think my main problem with this playbook is that like almost all of its good plays are out of strong, weak I form and single back, and there's really not very many good gun plays. And I like to run a lot of shotgun, or at least like kind of like a 50-50 split more so than running a lot of stuff out of single back or I form. So we end up switching to New England's playbook because it has a lot of really good stuff for both formations. And then on defense, we're going to switch to the Mike Zimmer playbook. I've been using that for like 4 or 5 years in online play, and I think it's just a really solid, really reliable 4-3 playbook. And we're not running anything that's super exotic or intricate. It's just base 4-3 and nickel. So I think changing it to something with a little bit better of just base plays is going to benefit our defense going forward. Our next game is going to be, like I said, in London, taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who have a couple of decent players on offense. Obviously, Matt Ryan is still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Calvin Ridley is great, and Kyle Pitts is one of the best receiving tight ends that has come into the league in a very long time. But they have a lot of holes on their roster, too, particularly along the offensive line. And then kind of the tail of the tape with this team is that their defense is, I'll just say it straight up, bad. Other than like Grady Jarrett and Deion Jones, this team has almost no talent on defense, especially if you see some of the players that they're starting. So I think this is going to be a pretty exploitable matchup. And I think it'll also be a good kind of calibration for our offense to get going, as they've struggled a lot for these first 4 games. But they played pretty good defenses in every game except for this most recent one. So I think playing a team with a little bit weaker of a defense is going to give us kind of a better idea of what we have and how to use these pieces that we have. So again, I want to take away the pass. I think if we can do that, we'll be in really good shape. I'd rather have a game where Mike Davis carries the ball 20 times than a game where we have Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley combining for 200 yards. And then on offense, again, I want to try and push the ball down the field through the air. I think that our run game does enough to open up kind of opportunities, and Grady Jarrett and Deion Jones are good, but not enough to completely carry this offense. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this episode of the New York Jets franchise here in Madden 22. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and we'll see you next time where we'll be taking on the Atlanta Falcons in London.